Unless?
Yes, unless.
What's an unless?
Just a faraway word, just a faraway thought.
A thought? About what? About something I ought?
Well, a thought about something that somebody ought. A thought about something that somebody ought. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It's not.
Welcome to Nerf News for the Owl Ranch, episode 13. I am your host, Chris Cartaya, and I am a professional Nerf modder, and I am a Nerf anchor man. And today I would like to discuss a subject that's very important going on in the Nerf community. And it is very hindering, very, very bad and very, very sad. I want you to leave politics, gender roles, gender identity out of it. It has nothing to do with this. I would like you to come here every week and think with a logical, open frame of mind that everybody has their place in this world, that everyone has their place in this world, and it's really not about politics or judgmentalism or anything of such when we talk about issues like AI. Today, I want to talk about artificial intelligence and how bad it is hurting our community. And it is, very badly. The next thing I'm going to talk about is this AI being used to impose possibly on 3D printing. On a new bill that was passed this year in California that is built on delusional thinking, basically. That a peripheral can actually fix, make sure you don't make guns. Well, out of 3D printed parts. No. There are different ways to go about it. No. And also, finally, dart wars. These vicious dart wars have begun between the Mandrake darts, the Gavin Fuzzy darts, and of course the good old saber tees. Oh yes, it has begun. It has started. And just like shoe manufacturers, when a guy in the Olympics and their shoe gets ripped off their heel, and the guy says, "So show us the shoes, show us the shoes." Well, guess what? It can get that bad and nasty. And it's starting to, in my opinion. And I would really like to discuss, before it does get that bad, that, you know, the whole thing with darts and products and everything else, and how bad it could be, especially since it's not like building one prototype, and if it doesn't work, fine. You got to outlay like tens of thousands of darts on pre-order from a company just to make them. Very, very difficult. Very, very tough. So at any rate, let's get this show on the road, shall we? Oh, I'm going to need a drink for this one. Oh, I'm going to need a drink for this one, guys. I really am. I'm going to need a drink. Because, well, this one takes the cake. By far, takes the cake. I'm going to take our Bombay Sapphire here. This one takes the cake. Take a good look at that picture there. Go ahead. Now, that was a profile picture. Now, that's my usual self, you know, being the silly, crazy, wild man that I am, and going, ha, 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 which is, it's just part of my gimmick, it's part of my theme. In real life, I'm a nice guy, but think about it, okay? Now, does that look like a real gun to you? Does that blaster look like a real gun to you? No, it is not a real gun. It is what? Exactly. It is a Nerf Rebel Star Shot modded with a long shot plunger tube, 18.5 kilograms, and it shoots Nerf darts. It is a toy. Now, in this picture, there's no scope on it, but I use a scope. It makes it a little more accurate. This is a very accurate blaster, actually, out of the box. This is a bird of prey, or in Nerf Haven terms, a 4S, a super sprung star shot, essentially. This is not a threat. It is not anything else. But what did Facebook do? I put up this picture, and lo and behold, boom. Post we won't recommend. Here's content that keeps your profile from being suggested to people. Oh no! not going to suggest my profile to people. Only every Nerf modder in the world knows who I am. I only have 1,100 fucking friends, and I only have 4,400 people on Devin Nerf Blaster. But what the fuck should I care, right? Well, I guess I should, because Facebook says I should, right? So, review and edit your information. What happened? Here's the content. That profile picture. That one, flagged automatically. Now, let's put this in perspective, folks. If fucking AI thinks that that's a real gun, okay, the technologies that are coming forth in this world are something to be afraid of. That's a real gat? Really? Really? Oh, how bad can you get? And everywhere you see all this rebellion going on about people taking down flock cameras. You see all sorts of stuff going on about flock cameras getting banned. The guy who actually suggested this article, Sean Cox, also known as Sandman, he showed me a post where some clever cannabis dispensary had a really good solution for this. I liked it. It's really cool. Let me show you. So this is one solution that was put up by a dispensary that the government just put up a flock camera in front of a dispensary. Are they going after crooks? No. Are they going after criminals? No. They want to see who's going in and out of this dispensary so we can profile you. We can discriminate against you. Now, you hear all sorts of conspiracy theories. You hear all sorts of stuff. But this is one of their solutions. Just put the sign up on it's your private property. You can put it up. Go right ahead. That's really cool. And all over the place, people are getting rid of flock cameras. People are getting rid of the network. Because who knows what it can be used for. There isn't laws made for this. There isn't a lot of stuff. Although there is starting to get some more legislation, some privacy legislation and such. But like any new technology, corporations and other people, other politics and other causes, they tend to take over things that are new. So yeah, he showed me this. This is really funny. And let me put it this way. I really do think this is a war on the poor. It is a war on the poor, and it is a war of full of paranoia. People don't want people, there are people in the world that don't want kids playing with toy guns. Even if it's totally peaceful, even if it's totally fine, they don't want people playing with Nerf blasters that literally have little girl wings on it. Look at this. These are wings, guys. That's not a threatening toy. Yeah. But there is all sorts of agenda being pushed, and a lot of this is being used, and it's awful. It's terrible. So ask around. Ask your friends. Has this helped out Etsy? Has this helped out Nerf Wars? Has this helped out Nerf modding, designing, anything else? How about content for YouTube? No, it hasn't. As a matter of fact, it's made us a target. A really bad target. There are Etsy stores that get taken down all the time. I know that Jade Valkyrie had a lot of problems with Etsy being shut down by their AI engine. Facebook confused this for a gun. I know that Spitfire Industries is having problems because they're getting flagged for stuff, and they're not even real guns. So here's the problem with this, is that there's not a real human who intervenes. Norman from Big Blaster Consortium, also, he got flagged, but he's got a real human to review it. Well, that's lucky, because when I had to get reviewed for me being taken off of communities because I apparently pulled put up a threatening image or whatever, it didn't even get reviewed. And when it was reviewed there by their AI that privately said, nope, we stand by our review. See? So they're targeting the Nerf community with this because we look like guns. And that is not cool. Okay? That is not cool. And I have noticed this since AI has come out, since all this new automation has come out, that it really does hurt the Nerf community. It really does hurt Facebook. It really does hurt everything else. And if Facebook think it can't dive, just take a good look at MySpace. Can you ruin a good thing, a popular thing? Yeah. So what if you're a $1.5 trillion company? Easily. You make things so hard to work with. You make things so hard to do. You can easily, very easily, make the whole Facebook community, and not just our community, but all their communities go down. It's not that hard. Okay? Now, why am I playing the Animatrix in the background? Well, very simple. It's because this is where we don't want to go. And unless somebody cares a whole lot, nothing's going to change. Nothing is going to change. It's just like the Lorax. Although it doesn't look bad. How bad can it be? We have automatic chat GPT. Well, yeah. You get the point, don't you? This is getting really bad. Okay? It's also really bad that not only are they flagging content, and they're doing it without proper review, or even in most cases, an avenue for a review to a proper person, because there's so many people getting so many false positives that they can't get a human review. Well, it's getting to the point where you just get imposed upon. And why do they do this? Oh, there's not enough people to review them. Oh, it's not. No, what it really is you got an agenda that wants an excuse not to review it. This is all an agenda. I'm not going to say it's a conspiracy. I'm not going to say what politics is behind it, who's what, what's where, but you can feel it all in your bones that this is. Now, you can call me whatever you want. You can have your own opinion. You probably do. I welcome you to have your own opinion. Think about this with a logical mind. Was Nerf modding, was Nerf YouTube, was Facebook concerning Nerf, was it better before AI? Oh, by far. By far, because people that read it knew it wasn't a firearm, knew it was a toy. And if some, old lady who hasn't gotten laid in 30 years wants to complain, well, I didn't want that on my Facebook, we can easily prove, hey, it's just Nerf. But nowadays, no, we can't. Now think about this. Think about Maryland Mayhem, where they were playing on the field, and the AI cameras took it as, as actually, people running around with guns. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes the cops will come out, make sure they're not real guns, and go, okay, you're fine. But sometimes they won't even do that. They'll just ban it altogether because they don't want the trouble. Is it that they don't want the trouble, or is it a war against Nerf? Is it a war against toy blasters? Is it an agenda against it? Think about that. I think the same thing about the reviews. That I think also about this is that, okay, well, if you're going to put this shit up, maybe you should take responsibility and review every fucking case in person. I would love a law like that. And then, on top of that, this restricts you. Because everywhere there's a flock camera, you play in a park, you get the chance of getting swatted. I mean, let's face it, some of our blasters look pretty real. I do my best to make them Technicolor looking. This is freaking Arctic blue and freaking sparkles, This is, yeah. Or I try to keep it stock. There's very few blasters I paint. Big Blue is blue and gold. The Mark 13 is bordereau, flat bordereau and gold. So I try to make it as obvious. I keep your orange chips on there and everything else. But some people try to, of course, push them more far. Let's put it this way. Making your blasters more tactical looking, black, camo, whatever, doesn't make you shoot farther. But if you're like in a jungle environment, let's say Singapore, yes, it will help you. But the problem is, where you normally have a person that can tell this from a toy, as my post proves, you no longer have a person that can tell this from a toy. And now, it's another level of resistance that is applied to us in the Nerf community. Let me show you something else that is also kind of like resistance that's being applied to our community. And it has to do with a bill that was passed this year concerning 3D printing that's supposed to come into pass at 2029.
The AB 2047 mandates blocking software that defies the laws of physics. 3D printers read G code, numerical coordinates, not shapes. It's a mathematical impossibility for these machines to detect intent. By mandating software gatekeeper that does not exist, you're decommissioning the tools by our schools and over 30,000 California businesses overnight. As a Californian, I'm deeply concerned that this bill creates a constitutional minefield for our state. Following the Ninth Circuit precedent of Bernstein versus Department of Justice, code is protected speech. This bill establishes prior restraints and content-based restrictions that will trigger immediate multi-front litigation. You're asking manufacturers to perform a technical miracle under the threat of absolute liability. This is not regulation. It's an accidental ban on California's innovation economy. Don't break the tools of the next generation of our California engineers because of a misunderstanding of the technology. We urge the committee to hold this bill. I provided a full analysis of these 24 specific failures in the packets that you have, and I'm available for your questions.
Now, here's the thing, okay, is a printer is like, let's say, a typewriter, a dot matrix printer, a laser printer. Basically, it just gets information from your computer. It's putting coordinates, and it makes the object. Okay? It does not have its own computer. It does not have its own anything. What they're doing is they want to make it in the 3D printers themselves actually have regulation here. And they passed this whole measure without it even being like possible, mandated, anything. I think that, okay, how, for example, do we forbid full auto weapons being made in California? Well, we make it illegal. They get caught. They go to jail. Why don't we do it on the manufacturing end? Why do we have to do it on the 3D printer end, right? And you can say, well, anybody can put up a 3D printer and everything else. Well, back in the day, any machine shop could make gun parts. Okay, it's not that hard. You know, you can easily just change a couple of parts in the Uzi submachine gun, make it a machine gun. And those parts were legal. If you were caught with them without a Class 2 firearms license, you went to jail. Well, same thing. You get caught with a ghost gun, you go to jail. Why not make the penalty for having a ghost gun higher instead of mandating on the technology end? And besides that, if you're going to mandate anywhere, it should be on the software and not the hardware. But that's still prior restraint, okay? No one should ever prohibit design or development or anything of such on the designer end. Me being Cartaya Research Design, who works on research design more so than YouTube, more so than playing Nerf. I work on research and design and the betterment of the world. Yes, Nerf blasters, as you know, but other stuff too I don't talk about. And the thing is this is the wrong way to go about this law. This is the wrong way to go about it. And I'll tell you why it's the wrong way. Because you're using it on a level that can't be properly implemented, that can't be properly solved. They want to tax or remove those 3D printers that don't have that software. So literally, what are they doing? And you got to think that somewhere up the chain, there is some motivation here. They don't want any kind of plausible argument. They don't want any counters. They don't want anything. They want to, once again, ban your blaster from Facebook and have no one there to review it. And remember that also this law is going to be, of course, technology that already mistakes this for a real gun, a lot of our stuff for a real gun, Marilyn Mayhem's match as a real fight that got him swatted. Think about it now. Think about it. Okay? This is all just tools to manipulate the hobby. And I don't like it at all. I really don't. So we really need to think about, okay, do we really want to stand up for this or not? And if not, we really need to think about going to court. We spend our time to go to court with cease and desist between little rivalries between Nerf people. It happens. I've covered that before. And I get that is emotional. And to a lot of people, a big fight. I get that. Okay? And by the way, the lady who proposed this is an absolute cuckoo nut who doesn't understand anything. She doesn't understand technology, nothing. We don't want a future of research and design and Nerf blasters in their hands. We want it in ours because we know what the hell we're doing. Okay? None of us are violent with it. None of us go and just go shooting at people with our Nerf guns. None of us do that. We have discipline. We do well. The Nerf community was built on that discipline. So think about this. Unless somebody cares a whole lot, takes us to court, goes to a lobbyist, somebody else like that, and puts some money behind it. Unless somebody cares a whole lot, nothing's going to change. And in this case, only change for the worse. The Dart Wars have officially begun. Da 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 da. Okay, well, enough of me humming like a creepy dad or a creepy uncle. Let's show you this. So the Gun Fuzzy darts were compared to the Saber Tees. Bradley Phillips put them on a vise. Okay, pulls them apart. There it is, right there. Goes apart, and the Saber Tee, of course, because it's bound so hard. Put in mind, I have like 1,000 of them. Look at that. Yeah. So he does this also with the Mandrake darts and other things. So it's begun to be kind of like, the Dart Wars have begun. Gavin Fuzzy made some new G darts. It was originally a dome design. It became a flathead design. He did it on the other side just to show it. Okay. And when they came out, when Aaron Plinks did a video on it, it was really, really good. But I'm hearing from people, fellow Nerf snipers, like let's say Peter Parker and a few others, that the glue isn't that good on the production run and everything else. I'm only hearing these things. I don't know. And by the way, I make my own darts too, but I don't sell them. I make them myself. I've been making these since 2014. So you take one of these, okay, and you probably were to pull these apart. These would not hold together as well as a saber teeth, sure. But have I fired these at 300 or 400 feet per second? Oh, yes. Yes, I have. So, there they are. I make them, I cut them, I glue them myself. I hand glue them with no voids in them by vacuum pressing it in, by setting it in. And I do demand high quality. And it's very important. But my question is, okay, with these tests, why not fire them out of the Saber Ultima? I mean, get a jam, rod, 36 inches, ready to go. Fire them out of the Ultima. Fire it at full speed. Fire it at like 30 kilograms, 28 kilograms, so whatever the higher spring is. And see what it does. Does it jam? Does it explode? Does it blow up? Okay. If it does, then yeah, you got it. It doesn't really work well. And this pull test, as you can see, this one he smushes both the darts. And there it is. And you can see he even pulled this one harder. Like you can see he pulled it. But there's a lot of things that could have happened. Now, as we know, the Saber Tees and the Adventure 4 darts are made out of the same plant, glint. They make the same darts. They make the same stuff. The Gavin Fuzzy darts allegedly weren't made from them. I do know that Gavin intended to make a good product. I still say wait and see what happens. And like any first run is like that. You usually, you're going to run into it. You're going to run into problems. But check out this review from Aaron Planks back in the day when he got the first original ones. Now, I know these darts can be good. I saw a review. This was Aaron Planks' review. It was really good. And he did the review by shooting them against the wall and shooting them several times against the wall and against the floor. He took a paint chip out of his wall, of course, if you remember. And these were what was intended. Look at the texture, this foam. Look at these darts. They were really wonderful. But mostly look at the glue joint on the inside of the pocket. There's no glue in there. Okay? The pictures I see, there's glue in there. And it might be that the manufacturer didn't glue them. And I'm only speculating from what I hear. Okay? What I'm being reported. Okay? That these darts were really, really intended to be great darts. And the test copy they had were great darts. So the potential's there that they'll be great darts. So yeah, 6 shots. He said it was a little bit moving. It had a little bit of movement to it, but there it was. So the G-dart survived. See? So then he pulls it apart, and you can see how it peels apart from it. The glue peels apart. And he does a really good job of showing us that's really solidly glued at the foot, at the rim, and at the peg. And it's really good. So this is what was intended. These were the pre-production runs of these darts. And remember, it's always what your producer does with them, not necessarily what you intend. The end result that gets it done. But this shows me right there that these darts have great potential. They're fairly accurate. They're fairly nice. But like any product, sometimes the first run is not as good as the second or third, and you learn lessons from it. Maybe by like having Glant actually do your darts instead of the one manufacturer you got. Maybe. Although I do hear they're a pain in the butt. I had a friend who wanted to make darts. Actually, a couple friends that wanted to make darts. And they were not fun to deal with. But nonetheless, you can see how they have the potential. So don't write these out just yet. I want to get these. In their final form, in his good form, I want to get them. He makes such great stuff. I mean, this 4-axis B-car, the Spamp, but longer. That Mega Blaster that he reviewed, I showed you last week. Great stuff. Great stuff. Gavin is no schmuck. He's great. He's also really nice, and I really like him. But if he did get a bad set of darts from the manufacturer, and I'm talking 25,000, 30,000, 50,000, whatever the amount is, he's got to be fucking pissed. I mean, I know I would be pissed. I would be really pissed if I built something like this, and it was this good, and this accurate, and they just fucked it. Oh, man. And that's, to be honest, before all the horses are in, that's what it looks like to me. Okay? That's what it looks like to me. I also like Aaron because he does real range tests in real world conditions, especially his real world conditions, humid, windy, and usually on top of a car park. Car parks are very common. Areas where they play in Singapore. They play in car parks. They play in HDB blocks of houses that are abandoned, what have you. They play in a lot of these areas that are really good. You see, there's a ward where he's playing with a Kunlun, and he's in a parking structure. So this is very much real world conditions. Okay, and look at this. Look at this. This here, 40 meters instead of 30, and he does it. This is also a guy who went the distance with a Asian market Coke can at 50 meters. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. What is that, 169 feet or something? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So I love his reviews, everything else. I did write him. I tried to find him on Facebook and couldn't. And I wrote him a comment and I said, you know what? You really ought to do a review on the newer ones compared to the older ones, because there's a lot of talk going around. And it would be really good to have somebody who's level-headed, someone who goes the distance, someone who's a fellow Nerf sniper like me or Peter or Bradley, or Dorian, to really, do a review and tell us. And he said, well, I can't imagine them being any different from the last ones and this one. But let's see what we see. Bradley is doing a review. I think he's going to do a review possibly of the Mandrake, the Saber Tees, and these. So let's see, honestly, how he does it. He does it very scientific and very good. And I would love to see another review from this guy from the brand new GVZ darts. And if they don't measure up to the first ones, when Gavin comes up with another batch, and I hope he does, that he tests those as well. It'd be really an interesting lesson of how, in production, things can start out good, end up crap, needing adjustment, and then end up better. That happens a lot in the Nerf community. A hell of a lot. So, like any aspiring Bond villain like I am, I like to study the demises of my predecessors and really, try to plot for the future, plan for the future. I'm not like a dumb, lame villain that puts out flock cameras and AI to try to fence everybody. No. I'm better than that. My plan? Hookers. I'm kidding. But anyway, I just wanted to close this episode of Nerf News from Owl Ranch, episode 13, and I hope that I brought up some very, very important things for you to conjure and to think about. That really, this is the future. And if we don't look out for it, it's going to pass us by. There's lots of laws and things like that pass under everybody's nose. And if it does, we only have ourselves to blame for it. I just think that this law is cuckoo nut, and only a place like California, and I say that about my very own state, could it possibly happen. Could it possibly happen that some stupid lobbyist group says that a technology that can't tell this from a real gun should tell our 3D printers what to do, when 3D printers don't even think for themselves? Hey, go by signals. Yeah. So as per usual, don't take any duff from these swine, and don't you go changing. We're all fine, Is this threatening to you? I think the hat made it more threatening. Maybe it was the hat that did it. Maybe they just want to prejudice against Mad Hatters. I don't know. But at any rate, I think you know. Don't you go changing, or I'll find you, mister. And look at this. Look at Oddjob here. Look at this stupid guy. He's going to grab that hat and go, ha, you missed, you stupid moron. I'm going to grab my hat, gentlemen. Yep. Oh, man. And he got a visit from Mr. Watts. Oh, no. Doodles.